Hi, hello everybody. Happy Wednesday. First of all, I want to share a story. Actually, this is an old story. This is about the three friends who are Christians. Um, One is an American, the other one is a Japanese, and the third one is a Filipino. And they were discussing how to divide their money for the Lord. First, Americans said, "Oh, I have a simple way to do it. I'll just draw a circle. I'll just throw my money up. What goes in belongs to God. What goes out belongs to me." Then the Japanese was laughing and he said, "I have a simpler way to do it. I'll just draw a line. And then what goes right belongs to God. What goes left belongs to me." But the Filipino who was listening to them, he said, "Mine is the simplest. I don't need to draw anything. I'll just throw all my money up. What goes up belongs to God. What goes down is mine." you know, simplicity is the best policy in order to make your life happy. You like that? Because being simple brings us a lot of benefits like peace and happiness. Because we can sleep better. We can wake up happier. Don't complicate your life. It will become messy. Learn to live a sinful life. Now, simplicity is not about the things you do or the things you should not do. Simplicity is an attitude. It is an attitude to be developed. And this time I'd like to discuss to you some attitudes. But first attitude that I'd like to discuss to you today is about contentment. Contentment. Okay. I remember Joey De Leon. We all know him. He is a sikat na artista sa Pilipinas. He made a comment about, the quotation, "Money cannot buy happiness." Joey De Leon said, "I don't agree with that quotation." Kasi sabi niya, sumasaya naman tayo kapag nabili natin yung gusto natin. Hindi lang tayo, or hindi nga lang tayo nakukontento. Kaya dapat, sabi niya, instead of money cannot buy happiness, sabi niya, money cannot buy contentment. At sa katunayan, sabi niya, hindi mo naman talaga kailangan ng maraming pera para lumigaya. Ang kailangan mo lang ay makontento ka para ikaw ay sumaya. Now, first, I'd like to make it clear. Contentment is not complacency. Alam niyo yung complacent na tao, walang ginagawa, naghihintay, kasi kontento na raw sa situation niya. Sa akin, that is laziness, katamaran. Because if God will give you a chance to improve yourself, to make progress, to grow your resources, we need to grab that opportunity. Kasi yung opportunity only comes once lang. Blessing yan, mga kapatid. I'm not against becoming rich. Because if you are rich, you can do many things. Mas marami kang magagawa. How can you help other people? Gusto mong tulungan sila pero wala ka namang pera. Sapat na pera na itulong. Gusto mo, you want to become like FLM. Alam natin si FLM talagang tone-tonelada na bigas at mga kalabasa pinamimigay. But how can you give away tons of rice or kalabasa to people who are in need if you don't have money? That's why I advise you, my dear brothers and sisters, if you are given by God a chance, magsumikap ka. But anyway, our topic is not about prosperity. Our topic is about simplicity. Forget FLM for a moment. And let's focus on our topic, contentment. Philippians chapter 4, verse 11 to 13 was written by Paul. He was on lockdown. When he wrote this, he was in prison. And he said, I'm not saying this because I am in need. For I have learned to be contented. He said, whatever the circumstances, I know what is to be in need, and I know what is to be in plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or whether living in want. I can do all things through Him who gives me strength. If we try to observe the words of Apostle Paul, the first point that I'd like to bring out from this verse is that contentment is not based on necessity. Contentment is not based on needs. He said, I am not saying this because I am in need. In other words, he's saying that if my needs are met, okay, thank God. But if my needs may not be met, but I'm still okay, no problem. I am still contented. You know, the problem of so many people today is that their needs can easily be turned to greed. How many things you need in order to have a life that is enough? You observe, sa loob ng bahay natin, ilan ang gamit na hindi nagagamit o talagang hindi ginagamit. Siguro mga plato at tasa na porselana, regalo noong kasal natin 20 years ago, nakadisplay lang doon sa tokador. Mga damit na hindi nagagamit, wala nang paglagyan dahil sa dami, wala nang paglagyan sa aparador. Mga bag na iba't ibang kulay, mga iba naging LV na, lumang bag na, hindi nagagamit. You know, I remember one time I and my Filipino aide shared some of our experiences in the Philippines when we were kids to our friends at GTI. Sabi namin, you know what? When we were kids, we don't buy toys. We make them. And if they're broken, we fix them. We didn't have electricity. Yes, we have kerosene gas for our lamps, and we use firewoods to cook our foods. There was no television, but we have a transistor radio with battery in it. And we hear drama. We don't watch drama, we hear drama. And we enjoyed. We enjoyed. If the battery is low bat, we just remove the battery, put them under the sun, and it's okay again. And yet, during those times, we were happy. We talk about the toilet paper, sabi niya, as long as we have water, we're okay, sabi ko. But yung naman isang Amerikano sabi niya, how about if there's no water? I said, no problem, as long as we have a stick. If you are in the farm, as long as you have banana leaves, it's okay. Be careful lang, okay? We were okay. We were not bored. We were not happy. Ang dapat lang na gawin natin, we need how to identify. We need to identify what are the things that we need, what are the things that we want. Is stop buying the things that we don't need. And start giving away extra things that we have because we have them already. That is one way to live a simple life. Okay? Number 2 point of Apostle Paul, okay, that I'd like to bring out to you. Number 2 point, contentment is not based on quality. First, I said a while ago, contentment is not based on needs. Contentment is not based on quality. The quality of the possession that we have. Sabi niya, you observe yung mga words na ginamit niya, well-fed, hungry, plenty, and then want. So in other words, parang, siso. In other words, as if he was saying, I live in both sides. I live in both sides of the equation. I grew up having plenty because if we study the life of Apostle Paul, he was well educated, with high status, he had fame, he had popularity, he had power. Wala na siyang masabi sa kanyang buhay noon. But when he found Christ, he experienced to be abased, in need. Yung talagang naghirap din siya. Maybe he was referring when he was in jail or when he was shipwrecked. Just read 2 Corinthians chapter 11. Tingnan nyo yung mga experiences ni Apostle Paul. In other words, as if he was saying, I had status before, but I lost all. But it's okay. You know, there are so many people today who are scared to lose what they have. Have you read or heard about the Great Depression? I think 1929, when the stock was crashed down, talagang bumaba yung ekonomiya ng Amerika. And there were so many executives who committed suicide. They just jumped through themselves out of the window. Because when they lost their business, they thought they lost everything. They thought, more cash, more contentment. More money, more life. Actually, I read that America is spending more or less $70 billion. $70 billion in lottery. Sa Pilipinas naman, huweteng. Multi-million business. Yung huweteng. Mga kliyente, hindi lang mayaman, karamihan. Belongs to the poor. I heard somebody who said, may mayat ti agtaraken ti numero, ngam ti agtaraken ti baboy. Because people believe that there's a chance. And this could be my chance to win. You know, a man went broke 4 years after winning $315 million. He lost his job. Kasi hindi na kailangan ng job. Marami siyang pera. Pero he was indulged in so many vices. Other women. That's why his wife left him. And then, the daughter died, sabi niya, of drug overdose related to $300 million he won. Kaya sabi niya, I don't like what I have become. I wish I would just have torn that ticket instead. Kaya totoo yung sabi ni Jesus, a man's life does not consist of the abundance of things he possesses. Number 3, contentment is a learned ability. Sabi niya, I learned to be contented. In other words, contentment is not automatic. Why? Because by nature, we're selfish. By nature, we're greedy. We want more and more and more. That's why, sabi niya, I learned. So how to learn? I would like to suggest some four things that we need to learn. We need to do. First, or number 1, don't compare. Never compare. You know, my first vehicle was a wheelless Jeep. It looks like a Wrangler, have big wheels. I love it. I always clean it and make it shiny every day. But one day, my brother from Cavite came. He took vacation he was driving a Tamaraw FX. Okay, looks like new with all the accessories, yung stereo, napakaganda, AC. It's cold. You know, when I drove, it was very, very smooth, as if I was driving at the clouds. Sabi ko, wow, I love this car. And after how many days, they went back to Cavite. And I don't know Why? When I look at my Jeep, it looks like a junk. I started to complain about the noise, about the stereo, about so many other things. And I even seldom clean it already. What happened? Comparison. Comparison. Just learn to give thanks what you have. Number 2, lower your expectation. Lower your expectation. I said a while ago, it's not bad to dream, it's not bad to set goals, but you need to set your mind that whatever will happen, whatever I can achieve, I need to be grateful on that. And then third, we need to know or learn how to adjust alteration. Ibig sabihin, i-adjust mo, adjust your sinturon. Adjust your sinturon. You know, life has ups and downs. Okay? Parang gulong ang buhay. That's why be always prepared in any situation. Learn to adjust to any situation or alteration. Number 4, we need to develop conviction. What conviction? In other words, what you believe about God. What's your stand about God? Because what your stand is related to your contentment. What you believe about God, what you believe about the sovereignty of God. Do you believe that God is sovereign, that God is in control, that God is loving, that God knows all things, and that God knows what is best for us? That's why I believe that the real contentment is not based on how much we have. Real contentment is based on whom we have. And that is Jesus, and that is the reason why Apostle Paul can face and overcome any situation that comes into his life. Because in verse 13 he said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. I can do all things. That's why, if we have Christ, we might lose our jobs, we might lose our business, and many other things. Since I was furloughed, I thought I need to adjust my belt. But it never happened. It never happened. Instead, my dear brothers and sisters, our ref, if you open our ref, I'm not bragging, I'm just bragging about the blessings of God. You open our ref, it's full. Punong-puno. Kaya si Angelite sabi niya, oh Dad, we are very rich in chicken. Kasi 7 live chicken galing kay Brother Juan sa upcountry. Kinatay ko lahat yon. 2 native live chicken came from Brother Marwin. 2 boxes of chicken came from Sister Loria. So we are very rich in chicken. And every day, Sister Simplicia come and supply us ripe papayas. And there are eggs from hens roaming around. Sister Pearly sometimes gives us vegetables, fish, and other things we need. That's why, God is faithful. God is faithful. Every time I taste the sweet papaya and the savor of the tinola, I can feel the love of God. I can feel His faithfulness, and I say, wow, life is great. Life is great. Just live a simple life. And you will soon realize life is great. Praise God. Praise the Lord. God bless us all. Mahalo.